Okay, so back with my co-host Cam to talk about the NBA All-Star selections. They've been released as of yesterday. We're gonna dive into these a little bit. Cam, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. Getting ready, headed to Louisville this weekend to watch Mike James and the Louisville team play. And luckily enough, they're playing Florida State this week, so get to watch both my boys hoop, and should be a good one. Excited to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I have to tee you up real quick. What day is it, Cam?
Jay, I'm so glad you asked. It's Jordan Day, 2/3/23. And I love how Michael Jordan decided to have Jordan Day today with just as LeBron is approaching the all-time scoring record that's been held for 40, 50 years, whatever it's been. Just got to remind all these little peasants down here who the real goat is.
Yeah, absolutely. And in light of that, LeBron just got named All-Star team captain again. I think it's for the fourth time since they started doing that new rule. But with that being said, let's hop into these All-Star selections, man. Let's talk about the snubs. First off, I want to pass this right back to you, Cam. Is Trey Young an all-star snub? And if he is, who are you taking on your team? Trey Young or Tyrese Halliburton?
First of all, I really hate the all-star snub list because every year where there's just so much talent in the NBA, it's really hard to every year there's going to be people that get left off the list. Trey Young, unfortunately, is one of those guys this year. He's not quite having the efficiency we've not that he's always been a high efficiency player, but he's usually having a better season than he is this year. The Hawks are not winning a lot of games, and that's forcing him to take more bad shots, which is lowering his numbers, and I think that's why he got left off the list. To your point, give me Tyrese Halliburton right now. I just think what he's bringing on both sides of the floor, because Trey is about as good as a traffic cone on defense. I think Tyrese really brings both on both sides of the floor, and the playmaking gap isn't as big as most people would think.
Yeah, for people saying that you would take Trey Young over Tyrese Halliburton right now, let me just tell you guys this. Trey Young in his lowest usage in his rookie year was 30.2. Tyrese Halliburton in his All-Star season is at 26.8. What that means is that if you're a teammate, right, to one of these guys, you would rather 10 times out of 10 play with Tyrese and Trey Young now. They may be still averaging the same amount of assists, 10, but they're getting them in a lot different ways. With that being said, let's hop into this one, Cam. I need your current top five point guards in the NBA. Let's hear it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, Jay, you're not gonna like this list. So I think right now we got to start off with Steph at number one, coming off the championship run. I mean, four rings, multiple MVPs. I think he cemented himself as one of the greatest point guards of all time, and I think he is the greatest point guard in the game today. Number two has got to be Luka for me. I mean, what he's doing for the Mavs night in and night out, it's just incredible to watch. He's putting up early Braun like numbers we're seeing from him. I mean, he is single handedly keeping the Mavs afloat. Number three is going to get a little controversial for me. I am going to put Kyrie Irving at number three. Yes, I know that's
That's
high, and
high.
I know that's high. I know, and I'm going to get some hate for this, but listen, this is my reasoning why. He's keeping this Nets team going without KD recently. And I mean, we've seen him on the biggest stage in game 7 with all the chips on the line. If there's a player on this list, there's not a lot of players that you would want to when you play poker and you shove all of your chips into the middle of the stack. That's a player I would bet on. Kyrie will hit that shot. He has hit that shot, and that's why he's my number three. Number four, I am going to go with Damian Lillard. Can't have him left out. I feel like a lot of people forgot about him after last season, but he's having a great year this year with the Trailblazers. I mean, we know what he brings night in and night out. What he's the scoring his last 15 games, I think he's averaging damn near north of 30 points for sure over his last 15 games. I mean, he's one of the players that I have never seen that when he gets hot, he can sustain it for multiple games like very few other players in the NBA. Number five is, and I know I'm definitely going to get some heat for this one. Can't leave him off the list, though, with the season he's having. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is taking my five spot. If you put him at four, I wouldn't be mad over Dame. Dame has sustained that consistency a little longer, so I am going to give Dame the edge over him for right now.
Yeah, so I agree with you, one and two, Steph and Luca. I have Shy Gilgeous at three. this season. I mean, what he's doing, I know he's on the Thunder, so a lot of people can't tune in or don't really want to tune into Thunder games. But if you watch those games, man, he's breaking down any type of defender. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. I have Shai Gilgeous at three. I got Dame at four, and I've got Ja Morant at five. I'm the first person to say if I see Ja Morant gritty to the Bill Russell Finals MVP, I'll never watch an NBA game for the rest of my life again. I can't witness the Grizzlies all grittying to an NBA championship. But with that being said, man, the guy's an absolute freak, not just athletically, but his IQ, his passing, everything. And that gives me another reason to segue into another great debate right here, Cam. Jokic or Embiid. We saw these two guys match up, I think, last weekend. Big game for the MVP voting. Tell me, who do you want on your team, Jokic or Joel Embiid?
I mean, it's close. I'm not mad either way, but I mean, it's got to be Embiid. They've had 7 head-to-head matchups in their career. Embiid's won 5 of them. Against those, when they play each other, Embiid averages 26 and 12, the block and a half, or 2 blocks and a steal and a half. Jokic is only against Embiid. We know how good he is, but against Embiid, he only averages 22, 9, and 7. That's well below his averages across the board. Embiid's clearly better on the defensive end, and I just think he just knows how to. You can't really get in Jokic's head. I'm not going to say that, but he knows how to make him uncomfortable. He's one of the only players in the NBA that can successfully defend against Jokic, and I just think it's got to be him.
I disagree there, man. I think Jokic is he's not the dominant force that Embiid is. And a lot of fans who like to watch basketball want a center who's going to back you down and give you 30 and 15 a night. And that's just not what Jokic does. I think he gets it done in a different way, in a different style of play. I mean, he's got back-to-back MVPs right now, right? The only three players in NBA history that have three-peated for an MVP: Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. Now, here's the thing. I go to the barber shop, and my barber is a strictly Joel Embiid guy. He doesn't want to hear anything Nikola Jokic in the barber shop, and I'm the one guy who has to fight back. And my fight back is Larry Bird played with Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson. The list goes on, right? Wilt Chamberlain played with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and all these Hall of Famers. Bill Russell, we all know Bob Cousy. We all know the people that he played with, John Havlicek. Jokic, for most of his playoff career, has been absent of his second and third best players in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. I think what Jokic does is better for a team, and I think that at sometimes Embiid's teammates come at the expense of his stats.
That's a fair point, and I know you tweeted about this the other day, so I do want to ask you. I saw that the Nuggets are looking into moving Bones Highland. What do you want the Nuggets to do with him?
See, it's a great question. I think this is why the NBA trade deadline is so intriguing as a fan, and not only as a fan, but if you're in and around the NBA in any way. And that's because what you're seeing is teams that are trying to trade away good pieces for better impact pieces that can help you in the short term rather than the long term, it means they're going for it. And I think the Nuggets realize we've had back-to-back MVP. Jamal Murray's healthy. Aaron Gordon is playing the best basketball of his career. Michael Porter Jr., if you even watch Nuggets games, he is a snipe from three. Absolute snipe.
Nothing like 17 buckets and 0 assists. I love it.
Yeah, some
You
of his
know when you pass him the ball that he is going to get a bucket.
absolutely. Some of his stat lines are crazy, and he's 6'10", so when he rises up, it just depends on if the ball's going in or not. I think this is going to be a big year for Jokic. You know, you have no excuses this year. You're the number one seed in the West. You have a healthy team. How far can you take that team, man? It's very, very interesting. But with that being said, Cam, before we head on out of here, give me one player or team that you think should make a trade prior to the deadline.
I mean, other than the Nuggets, I think we already touched on that. The Bulls need to literally get rid of everybody. We need to strip it down completely down to the ruins. Everybody needs to go. You need to get rid of all the big contracts. Clearly, I mean, we don't know what the team, the old Bulls team with Lonzo looked pretty solid. They looked like they not maybe contender level, but they had the potential of making the Eastern Conference Finals, but without Lonzo, this team is in disarray. They need to completely strip it down. We don't know. Lonzo still isn't walking. Can you believe that? He's not even close to running. Billy Donovan said there's zero to no chance he'll come back this year, which is crazy. That'll be almost 2 years for him. It's just completely derailing the Bulls franchise. They need to completely strip it down. Go give Zach LaVine to the Mavericks. Send him. Go let him play with Luka. Clearly, he wants out. Doesn't want to play second fiddle to DeRozan. I just think. I mean, I'm a little biased, as you can clearly tell, but they need to strip it down and start all over.
Yeah, that's a good one. My trade, I don't know if they're gonna do it. I don't know if teams even want him. But seeing Dylan Brooks and Donovan Mitchell last night scrap because Dylan Brooks gave him a nut shot after he missed a layup was just terrible to see. I mean, Dylan Brooks, that guy is not helping you win basketball games. Let me just put it that way. If the Grizzlies can somehow flip Brooks, get OG Anunoby in there, now you're talking. I don't know what it'd take. It takes some first round picks. The good thing about the Grizzlies is that they've hit in their last four drafts, right? So you don't really need that many more impact franchise players rather than finding those guys now that can plug and play for those deep playoff runs.
Yeah, I mean, the main problem is the Rudy Gobert trade has completely messed up the market. I mean, 4 first round picks for Rudy Gobert. I mean, you saw the Bulls were asking 2 first rounders for Caruso. I mean, Caruso's a great player, and he's one of those guys who can play on any team. But like, you got to think at the end of the day, no team's giving up 2 first round picks for Caruso. Like, that's just not going to happen. So, like, what would it even take for the Mavericks to, or I'm sorry, not the Mavericks, the Grizzlies? What would it? How many first rounders would it take to get OG Anunoby from the Raptors?
It would be a hefty price. I think it'd be a hefty price. But the thing is, it actually may be lower than expected. I just remembered this. OG Anunoby's on an expiring deal. He will be a free agent either this season or next season, which means that he has a little bit of leverage. He can tell teams, hey, you can trade me there, but you just know I'm not going to re-sign. And if that happens, they're not going to trade for a player who's going to be there for 1 or 2 years. They're going to try to lock him up. With that being said, man, we will head into a good week coming up with these NBA trades coming with the deadline coming up, and we'll bring some more content to you on that. Cam, any last words before we hop on out of here?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this on every episode we record and every content we record until the Super Bowl. AJ Brown, anytime touchdown score. I'm telling you, he hasn't scored all playoffs. This is going to hit.
Yeah, and going off of that, Price Picks is still, well, they just went back to back. They gave you Joe Burrow at half a passing yard last game. They're running it back for the Super Bowl. You can get Patrick Mahomes at half passing yards right now on Price Picks. If you use our code LEAVE, that's LEAVE, get 100% back on your first deposit up to $100, man. Patrick Mahomes to have at least one passing yard. Come on, man. Too good to be true. If you don't do it, that's on you. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.